This is KE8 ANU Ed, and I'm going to show you a little bit more on using the programming software for the MD-380 radio with the freely available Ohio code plug that can be downloaded. So I'm going to open the Ohio code plug up, and if we look into zone information, this is all organized by location, and we have scan lists that correspond with the zone locations, and we have channel information that corresponds to the zone locations. And what I want to do is I want to add an analog 70 centimeter repeater to my code list or code plug. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new zone, and it shows up all the way here at the bottom, and I'm going to rename it analog repeaters. And I'm going to create a new scan list, and I'm right clicking on scan list and selecting add. Go to the bottom, and I'm going to call it analog repeaters. And I'm going to go into the channel information, select add, and go all the way down to the bottom, select it, and by default it's set up in digital mode, so we can drop this down, select analog, drop this down and select 25 kilohertz for bandwidth, and drop the scan list down, select analog repeaters, and put in a channel name, and I'll just call it Logan County. And here I can add the CT CSS tone for decode and an encode tone, and I'm looking and I'm not sure what I should set this other stuff to. So what I'm going to do is look at the Columbus 444.200 channel, and I can see how that's all set up already in the code plug for an analog repeater. So I can switch over to here and make those same settings. And if you're only doing, one analog repeater, that's not, too bad to do. But if you want to add a lot of them, it can get kind of cumbersome to go in and change all the channel settings in the channel information window to what you would need. So what I'm going to do is highlight the Columbus repeater, right click on it, select copy, and then select the Logan County repeater, right click and select paste. And as you can see, it copied all the settings from the 444.200 analog repeater into the Logan County repeater. So now I just have to go in and change the scan list to analog repeater, and then put in the correct frequency, which I'm going to look up now. Let's see. So here's the repeater, 70 centimeter repeater information. It's 443.825. So I'll go into here and change this to, see, 3.825. And go back to here, and they have a tone of 186.2 and with a positive offset. So I'll change this to 186, what is it, 186.2, 86.2, and add the 448.825. And then I'm done. So I'll close this out. So now I have the channel for the Logan County repeater in here. And let me go up to zone information and analog repeaters. Now the analog repeater zone does not have any channels in it. So I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the available channel list, select Logan County, and select Add. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the scan list. Select Logan County and Add. And I'm going to also add the Columbus repeater and analog repeater into the scan list. And I'm also going to add the Columbus repeater, analog repeater, into my analog repeater zone. And then scroll back down. Now, one thing I've noticed where the scan list is, if you leave this blank, if you're on the analog, or if you're on a channel and you hit the scan button, the radio will not start to scan. So when I'm on the Logan County repeater and I hit the scan button, it's going to start scanning the analog repeater scan list. If I'm on the Columbus analog repeater and I hit the scan button, it's going to start scanning the Columbus scan list. If I wanted to change it to the analog repeater scan list, I'd come down here and hit analog repeater. And let me just look out of curiosity to see on the Columbus scan list. And I don't see the Columbus analog repeater in the scan list. So I'm going to leave it on the analog scan list. And you can also add in to a scan list, you can mix digital channels with analog channels, and the same thing with zones, and it'll scan in digital to analog and analog channels at the same time, and also allow you to select either an analog channel or a digital channel in the same zone. That way you won't have to switch zones as much, which I believe, let me go to the Columbus zone, is the way this is set up with the analog repeater in the Columbus zone. So I hope you've enjoyed this little tutorial about how to add an analog repeater to the Ohio code plug. And since I already have my DMR ID saved in the code plug and my call sign, I'm going to write it to the radio. That way I'll have another analog repeater I can use programmed into the radio. I'll close this out, close that out. I'll save the changes to that. Well, this is KE8ANU Ed, and I'll say 73s till next time.